What's up, y'all? What's up? This is your boy Big Vince, and this is the F.I.A. Nothing About Something podcast, the 9 or the 6. Y'all know? 9 or 6 like a yin yang. So, what's up, man? I want to say what's up. The I want to say thank you to everyone that's been listening in to the podcast. It's been a few minutes since I did one, but I'm doing another one right now. And as you see, this from behind back here is from my F.I.A book club on Facebook. Um, I just was trying to start a book club, like I was telling y'all, with me being, told I had dyslexia and figuring out with my comprehension, things like that. Um, I wanted to start a book club because that was my way of defeating dyslexia. It's starting to read books. I've been reading certain books and getting into other certain things and trying to expand, my mind because reading is tough to me. I can read just fine. It's just the comprehension, uh, retaining because, like I said, with finding out with dyslexia. Um, a lot of people that have dyslexia don't really get the comprehension of the word. They focus more on the feeling of the word. So that's what I understand. I feel the words. So I think I said that before in the other one, but um, I put this background up because on this podcast I'm about to take it to these levels, to these lengths. I know that's what y'all been waiting for. A lot of you been uh, waiting for me to kind of put my little spin on things now. Um, you guys know I've if you heard my old podcast, a lot of you have heard the stories that I've told of me going through church and a lot of things and learning stuff. Um, you heard the story of dyslexia and things like that, but I say I'm a former dyslexic because I'm defeating it. I'm not trying. I'm doing. Um, but on this journey, I learned a lot. And as I talked on the other ones, like I said, when I was little, I could see and feel things that a lot of people don't, and understand things from a different perspective that a lot of people didn't get. Um, so, like even down to asking questions that no kid would be asking in a situation, with my parents. I was just telling my wife about it the other day, but this journey seems unbelievable. Looking at everything behind me, all of that seems unbelievable, but it's a lot closer than what you actually believe and know. Um, all of this is in you. You don't believe it because we've been here for so long and just thinking that this is the way here. But when all of this started behind me, all of this stuff began, that you started then. So the trillions of whatever years of whatever that this universe has been here, or when it turned on, you started then. So your existence is way, way longer than what you even can possibly imagine. Um, but let me get back to this journey that a lot of us are on and a lot of us don't see, and what removed us from us. So a lot of you that heard my other podcast, I told my boy Russ, I said, let's go on this journey. I'm going to remove God from you and bring you closer to God. And I didn't know exactly what that meant at that time, but I know now. And I know why it came to me. That's why you get stuff like this. That's why I tell people this is connected to the universe. Freedom is your ability, foot in your ass if you need motivation. Um, Food is yummy always. Shout out to Frank. Um, Fear is your adversary. Shout out to my wife, Cassie, for that one. Um, I mean, frequency is your anatomy. Uh, I mean, fully forever inspiring young adults. It's connected to everything, man. It's connected to the universe. So, um, but we don't understand a lot of this stuff because, like I tell everybody, we've been told a whole different story about ourselves. We've been told a whole different story about how we've been created. Um, I don't know it all, but what I'm learning and what I'm going to tell you, go look this up. Like I tell y'all, go look it up, go investigate. So y'all know a lot of y'all that's on Facebook with me. I'm like, there's a lot of chatter going on in that world in Facebook that is people upset, people arguing. And I just watch the world as I'm sitting here looking at people. I watch the world and just see most people are in arguments and things like that. Most people are upset. Most people are stressing. But we've been told to give all our power away, and especially this complexion of people, we tend to give that away a lot more than others. And we even know, we say, words of power, your energy is this and all that, but we don't even trust it ourselves. We don't even understand that we give it away all the time, that we let it go and give it away to these things that they said were our higher beings, or whatever, or was our God, when our God turned out to be a person that wrote this stuff. So when you in your Bibles and things say God is a man, you call him he. You're right. It was a he. It was a being called, that was the Anunnakis. Inkian and Lil, they were, whatever. That was your God that was writing those stories. Like they said, your prayer, was the prayer of Ptah, which was Inky. I think Inky or in Lil. I may be getting the names wrong, but I want you to go look it up so you can get the names right. So don't worry about me getting the names wrong. I'll correct it as I go. So, but so if you go watch, this is the first thing you watch. Yes, I'm talking about your Bibles, your story of the Bible. Go look and listen to The Origins of Religion by Billy Carson. It's 3 versions of it. Go listen to 1, 2, and 3. And then go listen to The Origins of the Anunnaki, 1, 2, and 3 by Billy Carson also. When you get done with that, go look at anything from Matthew LaCroix, with him explaining and taking you and walking you through the civilizations. He's actually been over there, like Billy, like all these other guys, and will walk you through this stuff so you can actually see the truth. So let me take it back and go to this world. So I grew up in the church, Christian, learning the Bible and learning that was the way that, 6,000 years ago is when the creation happened and all of this stuff happened, these stories and everything. And then, as I was in church, I'm listening to these stories and something's not adding up. So all of that aside, so I go on this journey with my boy Russ and starting looking up stuff. So I'm listening to Billy Carson, hearing things about stuff in space and beings and all this thing. And I'm like, this stuff cannot be real. Even though I feel inside of me, y'all know me, I'm an artist, I draw and all this stuff. I feel it and know something's up with this stuff. So I started checking into it, looking into it, researching it my way, and finding out things about this stuff. And turns out that all this stuff is real. Yeah. So a lot of you gonna think that since this is uh you grew up in church and hearing these stories, think about these stories. I want to put you sort of in a meditation. Um but you can do it while listening and looking. If you want to close your eyes and feel it, but whatever way that you feel, I want you to feel this. So in those books and things, they told us these stories, right? And these stories are not adding up. We know that. We've been saying it since we was little kids, the contradictions, the this and that and this and that. All these things they told us was conspiracies, but we got all these stories from our parents. And they was handing us these stories down over time, over time, over time, over time, right? So in your mind, I want you to see your parents handing that to you in your mind, like you see them handing you the knowledge of church. Or if you picked it up from a friend, you see where you got it from, right? Now keep in your mind, keep bouncing it and seeing where they got it from, where they got it from. These people are following this book, right? This book that was written by a Satanist. Looked it up. King James was a Satanist. So from my understanding of this story, what it all happened. Now, I just want y'all to think and listen. Like, open your mind and just listen and think about this stuff, but visualize it. Now, you had Constantine. Um, Hold on, let me turn my sound off on my phone. You had Constantine looking for a way to get Rome to keep them in power, right? They were failing. This is the way I perceive the story. So go look it up. Go listen to these stories. Go listen to all these guys, Matthew LaCroix and all this stuff, and go listen to this, and then you get your interpretation of it. But Constantine needed some way to keep Rome in power, right? So they're going around looking for things like all the people do of their time and ages. They go find stuff and figure out things to help keep them in power. So they start finding these books. Now, mind you, they're not worshiping this God has, like y'all think. I don't think from what I know, they're worshiping the sun at this point, right? So until Constantine goes, finds all of this knowledge of self, all these different things, and finding out where they came from. So he wanted to combine all the religions and all this stuff and have it in one spot. You know what I'm saying? Have everything. That's a good idea. So everybody can see each religion and like, oh, so this is what all of these different things are talking about, right? They're talking about all these different parts. So picture you standing in the center and you got all these different choices of knowledge around you to tell you how to be the total person, right? All these different avenues. So you just start at one and you get it there. Start it here and you get all that knowledge and you find out how to be the total person. So he wanted it all in one space, right? But the power, then absolute power corrupts absolutely, you know? So he got the power and realized that, oh, these dudes got knowledge of this. They created this. They did that. I can control all of that. So let's wipe all of them out so everyone could believe that we created it, that we did all of this, that this is the one thing, and to worship, this God. So let's create this. You know what I'm saying? Take these stories and do this stuff. So then they wanted everybody to follow it. So what happened? You had the papal inquisitions where they went around and wiped people out. And if you didn't follow what they said, you were wiped out. So think about that. You forcing all of that upon people your way. So that's where people get it confused, like the Star of David, the 6-point star. Y'all know, y'all see it. When that's the Merkaba, the body. Two pyramids rotating, you know? Like that was the Merkaba, the body, the meditation, Merkaba. Go look up Merkaba. So think about that. They've been telling you that this is that. That's their star. They own that. They whatever they said that they created was that from their star. No, it was not their star. Y'all didn't even know that thing with Adolf over there. He took that. That's the swirling of the galaxy. Swirling of the galaxy of different things. That was a peaceful sign until he took it and took that power and went overboard with it. Okay. So back to Constantine and them wiping people out, all these stories, all this stuff has been told this way and taught and pressed and pushed this way the whole time. So now let me skip, and I'm going to bounce around a lot. Let me skip ahead to slavery. So think about this, people, especially those of this shade. In slavery, what were they worshiping over there? In Africa, the story they told you of Africa, of them pulling them wherever, what were they worshiping? They were worshiping the sun, right? Everybody's knowledge from Egypt was pressed over into Rome and all that stuff. They were worshiping the sun over there. I'm jumping timelines. I know, I'm telling you, I'm jumping down. But that's what they were worshiping over there. You know what I mean? That's what your people was worshiping. Do you think they were worshiping this book that was beaten to their heads when they got over here and everything that was beaten to everybody? Think about that for 1 second. Really, really think about that. Your people was worshiping the sun, but you over here pressing this book and this man that they gave you, this Satan, this book. Now, they always tell the story. They say that, okay, they say Satan walks the earth, right? But God isn't walking the earth. God is everywhere, right? They say Jesus, obviously. But I ain't joking about it. I'm just saying, you got to get the idea in your head, man, of what they were telling you. They've been tricking us. But they say if Satan's walking the earth, if you think Satan is walking the earth, do you think he would write a book and tell you to follow it and say that that's the God? And then you hear that a Satanist was writing and taking part in help writing this book, piecing all those books together with Constantine, the Council of Nicaea, piecing all of these books together to make a story that you have to follow, that you are now following. See, that's what I'm saying, man. We don't research the history. We just go with what's been handed to us. And we follow that. And then we follow it religiously. um, so these beings came here, right? They've been here before us. We were some hominid things walking around here. Now this earth, so let me back up. You see this right here, right? You couldn't tell a story of how this began, right? If you go look up, I believe it's the Enuma Elish and the Seven Tablets of Creation. I think that's the book. Go listen to it on audiobooks. It's the Enuma Elish, I believe. But when you listen to those stories, when you listen to Billy's videos and you listen to Matthew LaCroix with him explaining, and also go check out Paul Wallace for those of you that are in religion. He'll explain this to you too. But these books are written and they're explaining this, right? We have our stars and things like that, and we have the asteroid belt. And they're trying to figure out where this asteroid belt came from, right? So in our solar system, if you take things, that's why everything is not perfect in our solar system. It goes in a spiral. Hair grows in spirals. The things on plants, seashells, the Fibonacci sequence, everything grows in spirals. So this universe is going in a spiral, right? In that spiral, if you rewind it backwards, you will know what went on in time, right? So they follow these backwards and they saw that Mars was orbiting something at one point. It was a moon because of when it backs up from the track of whatever, it was something there. And guess what? That something is gone, right? In the Enuma Elish, you can read the story. This book is written before your Bible, before the people of your Bible, this book. So you hear the story and it explains what happened in the universe. Now this book is written before your Bible. It's written before a lot of books. I don't know the exact date, but it tells a story of this place called Tiamat. This isn't it right here, but Tiamat was a big planet like Earth, but way bigger. So the story was Nibiru crashing into Tiamat and exploding the planet, but a piece of it recoalesced and became this place. That's why they find They dug down. They found that drill bit that y'all saw recently. Y'all probably saw on Billy Carson's page that was 1,000,000 years old. They can tell from the placement of everything, it was 1,000,000 years old. Yeah, they said we're only 6,000 years old. Yeah, see, that's what that book says. We're only 6,000. But then you got civilizations like Globeke Tepe. You got civilizations. Go look at Ancient Apocalypse. That's another one. Go watch Ancient Apocalypse season 1 and 2 on Netflix, and you'll see with Graham Hancock, where he's explaining all of this stuff, where there were these civilizations before what the Bible told us. The Bible only knew this much. Those people, Constantine and all of them, only knew that much. They didn't dig where we can today, where we can find all of this stuff today. They didn't dig, they couldn't, and find all of this other stuff that was buried. We're finding it. And we see that these civilizations are older than what those books told. So that right there tells you that those books, they didn't know. They just gave you a bunch of stuff. So look, they gave you a bunch of stuff to follow, right? And we've been following it ever since. They still do that today. That's what they do in our schools. They give us a bunch of stuff that they say, okay, this is from our collective minds. Let's say this is how we run this place. But all the ancient stuff, they told us, no, that stuff is myths. This, because they couldn't get there. Even the ancients knew that we would get to this point to where we would be able to unearth and find out all of this information. And then, like, wait a minute, this whole other stuff that they was teaching was crap. So you see that Constantine used all that. Everybody's pushing this. So the slaves back up. I'm bringing myself back to where I was at. But you got the slaves over there. They pumping this book into your family, into your ancestors over and over again to follow this book because you were worshiping the sun, and they ain't like that. So way back then in those inquisitions, before slavery and stuff, they were wiping out all these people, wiping out your Mayans and all that stuff, and Spanish inquisitions and all that, wiping these people with high technology out. They came off of a golden age and all this stuff. A lot of them didn't need the techno or army and weapons and all this stuff. They come from the golden age where everything was peaceful. You didn't need that. These are the cycles we go into: gold, silver, bronze age. And that's how we start doing things in those ages that we don't even realize. But they didn't have all the weapons and stuff. So they like, oh yeah, we can wipe these people out. So let me take it back even further. So when you talk about your archangel, was it Gabriel or whatever, and all this stuff, that they came down and fought wars with us, those were Anunnaki beings coming here bringing weapons. Yeah, they were bringing weapons and stuff like that and getting us to fight. They knew the process of how things were going to roll out, so they pushed certain things up on us when others were trying to teach the peace the whole time. See? So this thing of the universe, man, y'all got to look at it like, y'all look at the Jesus fish, right? You know that Jesus fish that you got on the back of your car. Now, look up the flower of life, and you'll see that is the Vesica Pisces in the center of the Jesus fish. It's the flower of life. It's just a piece of it that they took off and told you it was a story of a passing that they did, in the ground, blah, 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 and whatever, and said it was something with Jesus. And y'all even saying the name wrong. Like, man, come on. Like we don't research stuff, and then they block stuff in Google, things like that. Go research stuff and look up some of these books. Like I said, I listen to books on audiobook and hear this stuff. But they tell you that Jesus means Hail Zeus. Like, a lot of people don't know it was more than one Christ. But y'all going on was it Christos or something like that. Y'all they got you focusing on this one guy that they use this story on. You know what I'm saying? And if they even got you saying the name wrong now, like, that Jesus is Hail Zeus. A lot of you don't know that. A lot of you are just hearing that now. You don't think it's Hail Zeus. And think about this. They've changed language over time, right? The words, the way they say things, they do it on purpose. But like right, even right now, half of us older, growner people. I'm not gonna say older. I'm gonna say growner people. Uh, uh, Listen to some of the kids and can't even understand the language now. So just if you don't believe Jesus is hell Zeus, language gets twisted over time. The foreign languages are more closer to the natural dialect of things than what we are with this language. So look at Jesus, right? It don't mean hell Zeus. Say it in Spanish. Jesus. You hear it right there. Just that plain. Oh no, no, but the term. Just listen. Use your brain. Jesus. It's been translated like it's uh uh um Yeshua. Um or no, yeah, Yeshua. Um but they've been telling us these stories but not telling us the truth. They just going off of people handing them the books and just taking what they get and don't research the stuff. So if you don't believe that these Anunnaki beings were here, just when you watch these videos, you'll understand, and then you'll see with Matthew LaCroix when he takes you to the spots where you can see giant feet print in the ground of the Nephilim. And who were the Nephilim? The sons of God, right? Well, he got all these sons coming from the sky that are giants. Think about that, So they got these stories like Adam and Eve, right? You think of the story of Adam and Eve, that they tell you that this was happening. There was two people that started this whole world. Calculate that. Calculate how many kids that they would have to start this. How many times they would have to have babies a day. I believe it was a day. Yeah. Like yeah. It don't add up, people. But the story of Adam and Eve was the story of knowledge. You hear all these other stories, but it was just the coding of stuff. So those beings, they brought a worker race here, right? Just like we do now, where you go like over, in Cali, you go look for somebody to do the work for you. We still do that with everything. It's built in us from that. We're part them. Um, they didn't make us. They just upgraded what we were to be this. Um, but there was a worker race that they brought here to start doing building on this planet. I told you Tiamat. It's smashed by Nibiru. It broke up. A piece of it coalesced in the Enuma Elish was telling. I told you I'd be bouncing around, but a piece of it coalesced and formed into this planet. So they knew that, they saw that, and they's like, okay, let's go do whatever on this planet. So it's coalesced into whatever. Things are growing here, things are happening here. It's fresh water, all this stuff. And now that book, Enuma Elish, it's telling the process of that. And then it says it hit, broke up the rest, and the rest of it is part of the asteroid belt. How do you know that? You know what I'm saying? How could something tell you that there was another planet there, it broke up, and then now it's the asteroid belt? We go look into space and go find where we don't know where this asteroid belt, but when we rewind Mars back, that thing that they talk about in the Enuma Elish takes that trajectory and blows up, and now it's the asteroid belt. How do they know that? Someone had to be sitting back to see that happen. We don't even know. They tell us today we don't know what this asteroid belt came from. Well, those books tell you, because if you don't believe it, you go look at the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. Go look up the one by Doriel, where he explains where they say that this guy built this pyramid named Khufu, right? They tell you that the pyramids in Egypt was built by Khufu. No, Thoth tells you that I built the pyramids. Like he went back to upgrade and rebuild civilization and everything. So he encoded certain things into the structure of the pyramid. You'll see it when you go look up this stuff where if you measure around, okay, you got the pyramids, right? And one thing, they're aligned to these stars on Orion's belt, like all of them. This is why it's going to explain why all these pyramids are all lined up across the world to Orion's belt, is because Thoth, he was doing all of this stuff, teaching all of this thing. So you'll see on Ancient Apocalypse, where's this guy, Veracocha, Osiris, and who is it in Mexico? Quetzalcoatl, and in Teotihuacan, Mexico. All these stuff. Why this guy, they say this man came, these civilizations all say that this being came and taught them these ways. So Thoth, the Atlantean, his dad told him to go teach all this stuff across the thing, but he built all this stuff into the pyramid. And when you see it, it's the exact replication of the solar system on the grounds of Egypt, and it, moon, Mars, whatever, it's all built on the grounds of the pyramids. And he tells you in the Emerald Tablets that I did that. And then you don't believe it. So, like, wait, and they see it, they know it, and still they say it's Khufu because it was a name written inside it, and they still say it's a tomb. Like, that thing is not a tomb. It's a generator. It's a computer. It's a whatever. It had life around there, energy pumping out of this thing. You can look at it, and it almost looks like the inside of a light bulb. That's why you see everything in Egypt. When you look on your light poles outside, you see those little stack things look like coasters, stack the energy thing. And they were talking about that in Egypt, telling you that it's right in front of your faces, people. It's right there, sitting right in front of your face. But we believe what they gave us, and we have to stick with that. That's why they have us controlled and locked up. That's why they got you believing in these politics, that they doing something for you. You believe in that so much. Tell me, how many of y'all, how many of y'all know where your hoods is in your towns, in your cities, and have they changed? The ones around here, some slightly, but nah, the slum areas are all the same. They don't change with no presidents. Come on, they stay the same. Everything stays the same. Tell me, really, sit back and look at yourself and everything that you've done. What presidents done that for you? Who has done that for you? You done it all for yourself. But like they said, we want to give all our energy away. But back to the Adam and Eve thing. So these Anunnakis had this worker race here, and they were big digging, doing stuff, and all the work here with their technology and everything, and all this stuff. Well, they got fed up because they even told them in there, they went at their higher ups. Inky and Lil went at them, ready to battle them. Like, look, y'all said that y'all were gonna get somebody to come do this work. We've been doing this for thousands of years. And think about that. Thousands of years. That's why y'all see, go look up the King's List. You'll see that Thoth the Atlantean is on there, and that they ruled for thousands of years. Literal evidence right in front of your face of them writing down how long all of these kings have ruled. Yeah, go look up the King's List. You'll see it, and you'll understand. But so they was like, look, they went to their heads and said, look, y'all supposed to have somebody come do this stuff, so y'all need to come figure something out real quick. So they got in the bustle, and bustle was like, okay, what we gonna do, man? These workers are getting fed up. I agree with them. They've been doing this forever. Let's do something. So they was like, well, let's upgrade a hominid here and build them to do the work on this planet. Let them do all the work and stuff that needs to be done. So they started upgrading things, and it wasn't working. They wouldn't procreate. Now, think about a Bigfoot. If they upgraded a being, and this being has been here for thousands, millions of years, and they can't procreate, but they know how to work. They know how to use their brain, their psychic abilities, their whatever, all of this energy, because these people had this power. You got it too. You just don't know how to use it because you shut it off. Um, and they keep it shut off on you. But these beings here, and the ones wouldn't procreate, so they had to figure something out. So they said that they took a slain Anunnaki, and they took one of the hominids DNA and they put them together. And then Isis, yeah, see how they took words and flipped them on you and put them on these groups of things to try to keep you away from it, like ISIS? Yeah. Like Isis, she put it into her stomach and said, "My hands have birthed the Adamu." The Adamu, meaning first man. Where do you think they got Adam from? Right. So she birthed the Adamu. That was the first being that was Anunnaki and human or hominid, this thing hybrid. So that was the Nephilim that you speak of. And they also called them in your Bible the Anak. You know, it was the Anunnaki. See, people, research. But they were fused together, but they had to get these things to procreate, to get them to procreate. So they needed to make another one that was female. You know, that's your Adam and Eve story now. So it wasn't just those two, it was many, many. As soon as they were of age, you know, looking like a man or a woman, they would start, you know, whatever. So, but you had Inky and Lil, and Inky was the one, you know, I think the prayer Ptah is Inky. And then in Lil, I keep getting their names mixed up, these damn E's. But see, told y'all, confusion. And I'm trying to straighten it out, positive and negative, and get it in the middle. But Inky and Lil, you know, they were Enki was getting tired of the humans that they were creating. He said they were getting noisy, so they wanted to wipe them out with a great flood. They were going to wipe them out. But Enlil was like, hey, I got some family over here, so I want to keep them. And that person was called Zaya Sudra, which was Noah. And so he told him, hey, go get some things, not all of one of all these things, just grab a few things and a couple of whatever and build this ship. And they have found that ship, the construction information for it, and it's a circular ship that they built that could survive all of this flood stuff. So they knew the flood was coming. So then when the flood was over, that's when Thoth, going back to Thoth, his dad told him, get in your ship and forebode, because I'm about to wipe this place out because I'm tired of the people here. Because that was your whole Bible, Tablet of Babel. Tablet of Babel. Yeah, it wasn't Babel. Tower of Babel story. So when Enki, he went away in his ship, and you know, time passes like that in space. If you're going fast and you come back, that's like 20 years. Another 20 years. You saw the movie Lightyear. He leaves for 4 seconds at the speed of light and comes back, or 4 minutes and comes back, and 20 years has passed. Now think about that. If they shoot out in the ship real fast, you know, they come back and at that speed, time has passed. So Inky goes away, comes back, and sees that these people that they have upgraded and got it working are starting to build something like them, trying to get to them. So he comes back. That's like you going home, all right? You get some mice or some lizards, right? And you get about 5 of them. And you know, you blended two together like they hadn't made it, and you started making these different things, you know, because they're the same complex structure, because you know about it. They high technology, they know these things. So they put these together, and all of a sudden these things that you created started building, like mimicking you, putting up a couch, putting up all this stuff inside of their cage and all these things. You like, bro, man, these things is smart. So that's Inky coming back and seeing us building, and they're like, no, he tells them, Lil, man, we got to take this out. So he smashed that Tower of Babel and told them, hey, their years would be 120, because guess what? They were living just as long as they were living. Yeah, that's why you see your stories in the Bible say like these people was living. Moses, 800 years, like that was Zaya Sutra, 800 years old and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? They had these things. So those same beings inside of us put telomere caps on our DNA. If you go look in the Emerald tablets 2,000 years ago, Thoth says in there what they were doing, upgrading humans, or I think it was the Emerald tablets of Thoth, or it's something where he tells you, you know, where they're upgrading. And that's dated to 2,000 years ago. Tell me why we in our science recently go look up stuff and see that 2,000 years ago, something upgraded us and stopped us from living so long. Yeah, what the Anunnaki said they did, putting telomere caps onto our DNA, those caps on your DNA, and that's what they're learning now, how to take those caps off and help us live longer. See? So those telomere caps were to limit us. That's why he said, Inky said that their lives will only be to 120. And where you think they put that? Boom, boom, right in your Bible. They got it from that. I'm telling you, go look this up, people. Sounds outlandish, sounds crazy until you start looking, and then you realize that you've been duped. But and it hurts, man, because I grew up in the church, and I'm hearing this stuff and forcing myself to follow it because I'm thinking it's it's the way, but it's not. You hear these stories and find out that they came here, upgraded us, and then um, we started worshiping them. And they put a gene in us to cause us to worship. When you watch The Origins of Religion by Billy Carson, it'll be on the first episode where you see at Bikini Atoll when we went there to test the A bomb and they removed those people out of there. Those people are just people living on the island, never seen stuff. We come with planes, food, and cans and all this stuff, and they started worshiping us like we were gods, just like we did to those Anunnaki. It's a cycle. And they place that into us so we can always have to worship something. That's why you worship sports. Think about that. You worship your damn sports team all the way down to a fight, and you ain't never earned money from that damn sports team. You worship music artists and actors and things like that. We worship these preachers and pastors that's doing all this dirty stuff, but then tell us to do the right thing. Like, come on, man. We put this worship thing into ourselves. I have to worship this. I gotta have this. I gotta have I talk to my wife about this all the time. I gotta have coffee or I gotta have this. You ain't gotta have none of that. That's just what you placed in that worship thing, keeping it in you. But um they placed that inside of us because those people on Bikini Atoll till this day, they write USA across their chest. They build weapons and guns out of sticks. Go look at the planes and the satellites that you seen they built out of sticks. You would be like, what? That looks like the plane can get up and fly. Yeah, it looks like it can. Or the satellite looks like it can be in use. Like, yeah, out of sticks. So you realize that, yeah, we tend to worship things that are more advanced technology than we are. And that's what we did. And they were trying to lay certain things out here. Like in England, he had a crystal tablet that said the streets will be laid out the way that I see it for, all my time, like here. Like, I think as his rule, at the end of the golden age, his rule is done on Earth. So who's going to take over next? And that's another thing too. But um, so he is in guide of this place and laid out the streets and all this stuff, and they still laid out to the day. Like that's why you see like the Vatican and stuff like that, and by the Washington Monument, all this stuff. All the streets are laid out like back in Teotihuacan, Mexico, like with the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon, who was built by Thoth. That's why the roads are laid out like that. Why you think stuff around here is laid out? It looks like a computer chip. That wasn't a computer chip to them. That was them using nature and working with it, and then we mimicked it with our stuff. That's why it all looks like computer chips and computer motherboards and stuff like that, man. They were a high advanced technology that came here and upgraded these hominids. And when you finally see it, you will understand that these things that we are following with religion and all these things is not. That's why we got all these fights around the world. All these fights around the world is because we believe this was the thing and this was that. And they blocked all this information so you don't see none of the other stuff. They told you everything was a myth. This was the way. This was all this stuff. And this is where we are now. That's why we got so much depression, so much anxiety and stress. Is because we keep giving our energy away. You are an energy source and you keep pumping it out through everything. That's why you change the energy in the room. If you come through to your home, your kids, and you see they're all excited and joy, and then your whole focus is because of what happened in your world, you try to kill that. You try to kill all that calm because you want it to get to your level. You want everybody to feel your pain and you emit that. That's why you attract all the negative things back to you. This place is a mirror. You are mirroring this. All of this is going on inside of this. So, like Thoth the Atlantean told you, is to turn inward and look inward. He said, we are all nothing but planets revolving around our own suns. So your chakra system inside all rotates. You know, each year your different chakras. You know, your crown, your third eye, your voice, your heart, your I don't know all the names, but I know where they are. But they all rotate in a certain way. They all have a certain pattern, just like all these have in the solar system. Each one is your chakra, and they all control certain things. And a lot of us are stuck in the sacral. And you know what the sacral is, what we looking for down there. You know what I'm saying? So you're stuck there. You're stuck in that. So you don't know, you don't feel the other one. So think about emotion. Think about something when you had a feeling in your heart, because the brain and heart coherence, you know, your first brain was your stomach, but your brain and heart coherence, this muscle, that feeling that you get in there when you think of something that you love. Like I told you before, you think of something that you have passion for, feel that and stay there. Feel that. That's what they removed from us, is that feeling, because everything is inward. They wanted us to give this energy outward and give it to everything else. So we're just an empty tank left here because we depleted all of our energy to everything. We giving it to all of this, or this game, or we giving it all the way to anger, or all this. Like, man, you control all of the power here. When you turn inward, that's where all the power starts. See, so when you get up in the rising, I don't say morning no more. I try not to, because I'm not morning, because it's vibration, it's words. So let me skip to something, but let me say this real quick. But when you get up in the rising, you control your day. Soon as you rise up, you set your emotion. You don't even know it, but you start thinking about the shit that happens yesterday. And you start thinking about the fights and the arguments from 10 years ago. And you pull everything right here in front of you, and it's blocking your vision. So you're angry at the world outside of you. You control all of the emotions, the feeling. You even control your money coming to you. If you constantly feel and think, I ain't got no money, what did I just tell you? This thing is a mirror. Everything, the energy it brings back. It brings back all that energy that you pump out. So you keep telling yourself, you can say it, oh man, I got dollars and all this. You so scared that you're gonna lose your money that you gotta flash it and say you got it and tell all this stuff. But deep down your subconscious is saying, I'm broke. So I got to keep trying to hustle and get this money. I got to keep hustling. You're broke. So it's going to keep you broke. It's going to mirror what your subconscious is thinking. So just tell yourself inside your head, anybody can do it. Tell yourself inside your head, like, man, I am the richest. I am the wealthiest. I got the most whatever, and I'm good. I don't need no more. I got it all. I have everything that I need. I am wealthy already. And it mirrors that and it sends that energy back to you. But you think you got to keep begging for it and saying that I this and that for it. Nah. But see, this is what I want to tell you. So in that Bible, they told you that in the beginning was a word. And the word, yes, was God, right? That was a vibration. So there's atoms. I say it all the time. Atoms bouncing and hitting together. Your atoms, and something is holding these atoms together. This is not solid. Okay? Something's holding this together. And it's a vibration. So if you get quiet in your room, you hear that hum, that that whistle. That whistle is the vibration of this planet. That's the vibration. So it said, in the beginning was a word. And you know that everything on this planet is created from cymatic frequencies. Cymatic frequencies. Go look at the old video of cymatic frequencies. You'll see, and you'll see shit get up and walk and move and planets, all that stuff. And you'll be like, ah, so this place is vibrating like that sand on a table, and stuff, certain vibrations cause things to form and look a certain way and move a certain way. And then a light inhabits these things and they do certain things and realize, oh man, this is a world. But if you don't believe it's a vibration, you got to understand what it was telling you. So place your hand on your throat and I want you to say word. Word. In the beginning was a word, and the word was God. So there was a vibration. Ooh, and the vibration sends out cymatic frequency. So this planet receives vibration. It's vibrating itself to hold it, whatever, and then it vibrates in a certain way that causes things to certain things that grow on this planet. And then you get us. So you are a walking vibration. You are a walking cymatic frequency, you know? And that's why everything grows on the Fibonacci sequence. Go look up that. You'll see that everything, even if you were born with a missing limb, you are still balanced. I'm telling you, man, like it's crazy, but we got the wrong and spin. They gave us the wrong stuff when they fished out all this stuff. When we see it, we're understanding that our food is trash. They have food pyramid. Nah, don't even stick by that, people, no more. Most of your foods are messed up. And think about how much food they pump into us, especially in the black community. Think about, go really look up what chicken does to your body. And then go drive around your community, especially your black communities, and see how many chicken spots you got. Just about as much as the liquor stores now. You got chicken everywhere. Why are they pumping chicken so much? Think about that. So if your body absorbs all the chemicals out of these things, and I think I told you, I still eat bad too. I eat some messed up stuff. Meat and things like that, but think about what comes out of it that is going into your body. And then think about the black community and how we're having so much diabetes, hypertension, strokes, and all this stuff. Think about us in the world, everyone of stress, anxiety, stroke, still diabetes and other things. Where they coming from? Where's all this stuff? Why is it hitting now? We're in a new vibration, people. We're ringing in a new vibration, and you got different things that were going on in your body before. So now you move into this new vibration. Your body is now pinging a different way. So it's activating certain things in your body that is causing a lot of stuff. So, but yeah, man, yeah. My wife just got done with her stuff, so I got to get off of here. I've been talking to y'all for too long, so. But I'm gonna come back on, soon and give y'all a little bit more. I'm gonna keep going on with this, but go look at those videos. Go check them out. Go see what you see. And when I get back to y'all gonna see. You're gonna really, really, really see. All right, y'all. Pay attention. All right. This is the Nothing About Something podcast. The 9 or the 6. F.I.A. I'm out.